This is the Carty Method podcast.
Hey, for over 3 decades, my journey, by the way, and my promise to you have not only mastered the art and business of photography, but I've also helped countless photographers just like you transition from their 9-to-5 jobs to a full-time creative career. I've also helped photographers who are underperforming in their full-time business break through the $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a year mark. This isn't just about theory. It's proven through my own journey and the successes of those that I've mentored since 1995. I've learned firsthand what it takes to blend creative passion with real-world business savvy, and I'm here to pass that knowledge on to you. By the way, if you're serious about leaving behind that 9-to-5 grind and stepping into a life where creativity pays the bills, or you're working full-time as a photographer and you do not know what to do and you're tired of this journey, I'm here to help you. This podcast is your roadmap. I'm going to guide you through the mindset shifts of being a pro photographer, the strategies, and the practical tools that have helped me and so many others transform a passion for photography into a profitable, fulfilling career. By the end of today's episode, you're going to have actionable insights that you can implement right away, helping you move from a place of inaction to one that plans, creates deadlines for yourself, and most importantly, one that executes. So, creativity loves a deadline. The secret to unleashing your full potential as a pro photographer. It's a universal truth. If you give yourself a year to do something, you're going to take a year. If you give yourself a month, you're going to take a month to do it. The reality is that we actually expand or contract to the time we're given for any task. If you set a long, undefined timeline for a photo project, it's going to stretch out. It's going to become a task that you continually push down the road. But when you set a strict deadline, things change. Suddenly you're more focused, you're more decisive, and you find yourself hitting targets faster than you ever thought possible. This phenomenon is where creativity loves deadlines. Like, creativity thrives under deadlines. Deadlines impose constraints. And surprisingly, constraints are exactly what creativity thrives on. Many people believe that creativity is about being free and uninhibited, but true creativity often emerges from working within clear guidelines and clear parameters. The pressure of a deadline, let me say that clearer. The pressure of a deadline can actually serve as a catalyst for innovative thinking. It pushes you to problem solve, and it pushes you to make decisions quicker, allowing you to work with greater focus and greater clarity. Creativity also loves constraints. When we talk about creativity, we often speak about the need for freedom and the need for expression, but the most impactful ideas are often born when we work within certain constraints. Constraints focus us and force us to think outside the box, to take risks, and to build ideas within a certain framework. You can't just create endlessly without boundaries. Hey, Veach, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Real innovation happens when you have to make something out of a limited resource or make something out of a tight timeline. Think about a time when you had to deliver something in a short amount of time, whether it was a portfolio piece or an assignment, a creative shoot. I know you guys like to see my heart rate, so let's just set that up here. There we go. Anytime that you've had to deliver something in a short amount of time, a portfolio piece, a photo assignment, an editorial assignment, an advertising piece, a creative shoot, I can almost guarantee that the work that you created that was created in a pressured time was more focused and more powerful than anything that you've done if you've had all the time in the world. The deadline is what gave you the push. The deadline is what probably made you actually do it. The constraints, the restrictions, the brief sparked new ideas, and the focus on just that, that's what made those ideas come to life. So here's something that so many people don't do. When you speak your goals publicly, I'm going to make $100,000 this year with my camera. When you speak your goals publicly, you also have to act publicly. This is when the real magic happens. When you speak your goals outward to the world publicly, you need to actually act on them publicly. It's the one thing to set goals. Like, imagine, it's one thing to set goals in your head, but when you say them out loud, whether it's to a friend, to a community on social media, or to an audience, you're putting a stake in the ground. Suddenly, you have to be accountable, and the pressure of that accountability can be a powerful motivator. This is why people have coaches. This is why people join accelerators. This is a strategy that I've seen work over and over and over again. When I speak about my goals openly, whether it's a big project, a new phase of my business, something within the Carty Method, or a personal challenge, I feel a heightened sense of responsibility to actually follow through. Part of my reason that I started YouTube was to help me with my own consistency. You begin to act on your goals because now other people are watching. Are you watching me now? Do you understand? I have to act on the things that I say because you're watching. Wrong camera. Because you're watching. And there's something deeply motivating about knowing people are watching you and supporting you, or even watching you and hating on you. The universe aligns when you speak your goals. This is what happens next. I've witnessed countless times. When you speak your goals, the universe aligns for this to happen. And I don't care whether you believe it or not. I've witnessed it. It's happened to me numerous times. When you speak your goals, the universe aligns for it to happen. It's like magic. When you put your dreams and your ambitions out into the world, doors open, opportunities present themselves, and unexpected connections are made. You begin to attract the right people, and you begin to attract the resources that are going to help you succeed. This is the power of universal alignment. In my own experience, I've seen how sharing my goals publicly has also led to collaborations, to opportunities, and even to challenges that have ultimately helped me grow. So, it's like the universe conspires to make it happen, because when you declare your intentions, the energy around you shifts and people start to rally around your success. Your community will actually rally around you. When you speak your goals, your community will rally around you to aid in your success. This is where it's important to actually have a strong, supportive network. That's why when you have a photography network, and my mentorship community is insane, whether it's your audience, fellow creatives, mentors, they want to see you succeed. But when success starts putting your goals, let me get this statement correct. Success starts with you putting your goals out there. Like, when you don't put your goals out there, you don't commit to them. So start by putting your goals out there, commit to them, and set a deadline. deadlines not only become a tool, not only for personal motivation, but also for the collective energy of your community. You say you're going to do something, you're going to do it when. They see you putting in the work, striving towards something, and then they want to be a part of it. They offer you advice, they offer you resources, they offer encouragement, and it creates an environment where creativity and growth are nurtured. Now, speaking of community, there's great power in accountability. Like accountability, someone who calls you on your shit and someone who calls you on the things that you said that you were going to do, but you haven't done yet. So ultimately, when you don't speak your goals at all, you get to fail silently. It's easy to fall into the trap of setting goals in private, thinking that you're going to get to them when the time is right. But in silence, there's no pressure, there's no urgency, and most of all, there's no accountability. It's all too easy to let those goals fade into the background when you do this. But when you declare your goals publicly, whether it's a creative deadline, a business target, or your own personal work, your own personal photography, a challenge you set for yourself, say that publicly, because the accountability propels you forward. You take the steps, you hit the milestones, and you achieve your success, not just for yourself, but for your community that's cheering you on. So this is how you can use deadlines to boost your creativity. If you're feeling stuck or uninspired, deadlines can be the catalyst that get your creative juices flowing. So here's how you can leverage them to unlock your creativity. I hope you're writing this down. Number 1, set time-limited projects. Instead of letting a project drag on endlessly, challenge yourself to finish it within a set time frame. So whether it's creating a portfolio within a specific niche, shifting your body of work and shooting a new shooting style, or working on a personal project that's going to move your commercial needle, the key is to define a clear deadline. That urgency helps you avoid getting lost in that endless cycle of overthinking. When you know your time is limited, your mind becomes laser focused and you're more likely to push out great ideas quickly. Number 2, write this down: accountability partners. You need an accountability partner. You need to share your deadlines with someone who can help hold you accountable. It could be a fellow photographer, a mentor, or somebody who shares similar creative goals. By having someone else also expect results, you're much more likely to stay committed and to deliver on time. The pressure of accountability adds another layer of motivation, and you'll find that your creativity thrives under the watchful eye of somebody who's cheering you on. This is number 3. Create small, manageable deadlines. Don't wait for a major project to come in order to set a deadline. Break down your work, say, starting a professional photography business, into smaller, bite-sized tasks, each with their own deadline. For example, if you're creating a portfolio, set a deadline to finish just one image or concept every week. That not only keeps you on track, but it also ensures consistent progress. Having a small win each time you meet a deadline will give you the momentum that you need to tackle bigger shit. Okay, number 4, and it's super important, and you might not be doing this. Number 4 is push your comfort zone. Push your comfort zone. Use deadlines to challenge yourself, to step outside your comfort zone. Give yourself a deadline for completing something you're not really sure you can even do yet, whether it's experimenting with a new technique or shooting in a style that you've never tried. Creativity thrives in the unknown, and deadlines force you to act on those unfamiliar ideas rather than procrastinate. When you commit to completing something new on time, you'll see growth in ways that you've never expected. Okay, number 5, embrace the pressure. Embrace it. The pressure of a deadline sometimes can feel overwhelming, but this pressure is exactly what sparks creativity. The time crunch forces you to make quick decisions, eliminate all the unnecessary options, and move forward with confidence. With a clear time frame in place, you're way more likely to produce high quality work because you don't have the luxury of getting bogged down by perfectionism. The deadline keeps you moving, and in doing so, it helps you refine your creative process. By using deadlines effectively, you stop waiting for inspiration to strike, and you start creating on purpose. Deadlines fuel focus. Like literally, think about this. Using deadlines effectively, like you're stopping yourself for waiting for inspiration to fall from the sky, and you start creating on purpose. Deadlines fuel focus. They eliminate distractions, and they challenge you to produce work that you might have otherwise avoided. When you put time constraints in place, you're more likely to see your best ideas come to life. So you have to embrace this pressure, set creative goals, and use deadlines to unlock a new level of productivity and innovation. I'm about to break your brain. I'm about to talk to you about the best brief ever given to a creative. Nike's Just Do It. Just Do It is one of the most iconic and effective taglines of all time. In 1999, Ad Age ranked it as the number 2 ad slogan of the 20th century, behind only "A Diamond is Forever," and it debuted on July the 1st, 1988, literally almost 40 years ago. The first Just Do It ad for Nike was a spot featuring a San Francisco runner named Walt Stack. It was made by the Portland, Oregon agency, WK, also known as Weeden Kennedy, and the line was written by its co-founder, Dan Weeden. It would help turn WK into both a global behemoth of an advertising agency and a legendary creative shop, and it would help transform Nike from respected Pacific Northwest running shoe manufacturer into the world's most dominant athletic gear brand. Let's talk about the power of simplicity. At first glance, Just Do It seems almost too simple. It's just 3 words, but after all, those 3 words lay in the heart and soul of Nike's philosophy. It's just 3 words. Just do it. The brilliance of the phrase is its ability to evoke an immediate, visceral response from anyone who hears it, regardless of who they are or where they come from. It's a challenge, an invitation, a call to action, all rolled into one, and it cuts through the noise, distilling Nike's core message into a universal truth. Take action, overcome obstacles, and push yourself beyond limits. This simplicity gave the campaign the freedom to be interpreted in countless ways. It wasn't bound to a specific sport, a specific athlete, or a specific product. The phrase had the flexibility to encompass anything and everything that Nike stood for: determination, courage, perseverance, and performance. It was the perfect guideline for Nike's advertising and branding efforts, enabling them to tackle diverse creative executions while staying firmly anchored in one core message. From a runner lacing up their shoes to an athlete overcoming injury, "Just do it" became a mantra that worked in any context at any time. And that flexibility allowed Nike's creative campaigns to grow and evolve over the years while remaining instantly recognizable and instantly relatable. Creativity thrives on constraints, and the genius behind the "Just Do It" brief is that it imposed a constraint. Many creatives might believe that constraints limit innovation, but the reality is that creativity thrives on constraint. The very act of working within limits forces you to think more deeply, more strategically, and more creatively. You can't just lean on a limitless pool of ideas. You must make decisions, find innovative solutions, and build within the defined parameters. Nike's "Just Do It" served as a powerful constraint that fueled endless creativity. We didn't count Kennedy, WK, wasn't tasked with developing a standard ad campaign. They had to create something that resonated with people on a deep emotional level while staying true to that single clear message. The challenge wasn't just to sell shoes. It was to create a cultural movement. And by working within the boundary of "Just Do It," Weeden Kennedy was able to produce some of the most memorable and impactful advertisements in history. Just imagine, one of the most famous executions of "Just Do It" featured the great basketball player Charles Barkley, in which he told the audience, "I'm not a role model." It was an ad that sparked controversy, but it perfectly captured the spirit of Nike's brand provocative. It's like imagine, Nike's brand was provocative. It was rebellious, and it was willing to tackle complex, sometimes uncomfortable truths. In this case, the brief didn't limit creativity. It opened up possibility for bold, fearless storytelling that has resonated with a global audience. Creatives working on Nike's campaigns didn't just follow a rigid rule book. They were empowered to interpret "Just Do It" in their own way. The simplicity of the phrase meant that the creative team was free to explore different formats, different styles, different themes, all while adhering to a single unifying idea. "Just Do It" became their guiding star, ensuring every campaign aligned with Nike's ethos of empowerment in action. But because it was such a broad, open-ended constraint, it allowed for experimentation and nuance. It wasn't prescriptive in how it should be executed. They never told you how to interpret Just Do It. It simply demanded that it embody action and empowerment. This approach gave rise to some of the most iconic advertising of all time. Just think Find Your Greatness, which took the Just Do It campaign and applied it to ordinary people, not just superstar athletes. That campaign didn't need a detailed brief about how to appeal to a specific demographic. It was enough to communicate that greatness lies in the effort, in the determination, in the willingness to push forward. It could be a young girl running her first race or an office worker hitting the gym after a long day. Just Do It applied to everyone. And that's the brilliance of it. So there's magic in public accountability. And another powerful aspect of the Just Do It campaign is its ability to hold Nike and its consumers accountable. When you commit to something publicly, whether it's a creative project or a personal goal, you instantly increase the stakes. When you speak your goals publicly, you must act publicly. The brief itself became an act of accountability. Nike wasn't just selling a product. They're committed, and they were committing to the idea of empowerment, to the belief that anyone could push their boundaries and overcome their own limitations. Nike's ads had to deliver on that promise. In the same way, when you speak your goals out loud, the world begins to notice. It's no longer just a personal ambition. It becomes something that others expect you to act on. The universe aligns when you speak your goals, because once you declare them, you have no choice but to follow through. This alignment is what so many people are afraid of. This alignment attracts the people, the opportunities, and the resources that you need to achieve your vision. Nike's ability to consistently deliver on the Just Do It promise created a powerful bond with their audience, one that transcended advertising and became a cultural force. You have to understand there's a big role of community when it comes to achieving goals. One of the most important aspects of the Just Do It campaign is that it speaks to the power of community. Your community rallies around you in order to aid your success. Nike's their brand became a gathering point. From gym goers to weekend warriors, Nike spoke to anyone who had the courage to push their limits. Their brand became the gathering point for people who shared a common belief that anyone, anywhere, could achieve greatness. And this belief was reinforced by the creative campaigns that they created, and each one reinforcing the idea that everyone has a role to play within Nike's story. In the creative world, this kind of community support is so vital. Whether you're a photographer, a designer, a graphic artist, a filmmaker, having a group of like-minded individuals who support your goals can make all the difference. Speaking your goals into existence brings others into your journey, and their encouragement can be the fuel that you need to keep going. So, Just Do It was the ultimate creative brief. The Nike Just Do It brief is a shining example how a simple, clear statement can guide an entire creative process while allowing you more room for flexibility, more room for innovation and personal interpretation. It proves that constraints can be a source of freedom rather than limitation. It demonstrates how a focused, powerful message can transcend specific products or services to become something universally relevant and emotionally resonant. So, how can you apply the principles behind Nike's Just Do It in your own creative work? Well, first of all, you need to look for simplicity in your messaging. Embrace the power of constraints and find the core idea that will guide your journey. When you can focus on one clear vision, your creativity will find the path forward. And just like Nike, you'll inspire others to take action. So, you guys into this? What if you could have the same kind of creative focus each week? What if you had clear, simple goals each week? One that would challenge you to push your photography boundaries? That's exactly what you get when you join my weekly photo reviews. Each week, you'll receive a fresh assignment and a clear deadline, providing you with the framework to push your creative limits while staying true to your creative vision. Just like Just Do It isn't just Nike's mantra. It can be yours too. Just do it. That's the real brilliance behind this campaign is it doesn't just belong to Nike. Just do it belongs to everybody. It can be yours too. So take action. Take action today. Join my community of photo submissions and set your creative goals into motion. We can do this together.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
Appreciate you being here today. If you became a subscriber recently, you're going to see your names going across the bottom of the screen. And if you became a member, you got a crown next to your name. You got emotes. You got access to all my live streams. And your name is scrolling across the top of the screen. Shorter one today, yes, but we are trying something different. Let's see if these shorter, intense, value-packed episodes track. And also, it is Accelerator Sunday, days that I do my accelerator. We have to do a little bit shorter episodes because all eyes are on my accelerator members. I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching.